When C.K. Little opened his doors in downtown Corinth nearly 80 years ago, his plan was simple: deliver excellent service and exceed expectations. That's why we say a little gift goes a long way.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 10.
Well, good evening and welcome into Mississippi Live Weather at 10. I'm meteorologist Gabe Maynard, tracking what should be a much milder forecast overnight, and that's at least one of the positives we're talking about with that extended forecast ahead. So that milder start to our Wednesday, a noticeably milder start. So folks that headed out the door this morning with a frosty windshield or had to wear 3 or 4 layers, I think we'll be able to shed one of those, and frosty conditions not exactly expected with this pattern, and that's a sign of things to come as this week continues on. Limited rain chances do return to the forecast. I know it says Wednesday, it's more likely going to be Wednesday night. Once that sun does set, that frontal boundary pushes in, and that's where it'll sit, right over the top of North Mississippi, not just for Wednesday, but even overnight into our Thursday. More widespread chances as well as a few rumbles of thunder expected as we get into that Thursday forecast. Before we continue on, there is a fourth headline, and that is our game of the week. We do have our destination. Where are we headed this week? Drum roll, please. Again, the poor drum roll continues every Tuesday night, but our game of the week is definitely not going to be like my drum roll. Action-packed games should be happening this Friday night. We are going to be watching Rosa Fort take on Kosciuszko. That is going to be, I believe, at Northeast. So despite it being Rosa Fort and Kosciuszko, we're heading up north towards Boonville to enjoy that game, and it's going to be a great one. 49%, so a pretty one-sided vote for sure when we're talking about these outputs, but it's going to be a great matchup for sure, and we're excited to get those highlights, get those votes going. And remember, it's not just the game that matters. It's also the fans, it's also the cheer squads that matter as well, and we'll get those votes going here in the next, within 12 to 24 hours. So make sure to check those pages for the latest on those. But of course, we are excited to head out there towards Boonville to see our folks up there at Northeast, but also get to see some of our friends as well as just in Prentiss County. So excited to get up there for sure, and excited that we are getting warmer conditions, at least in my personal opinion. I'm ready for things to warm up, and I know a lot of you are at home as well. We're 20 degrees different from what we were this time yesterday. Wrap your mind around that. That is a significant change. I want to say noticeable, but I feel like that's understating just how significant that change is. And as we take a look at those temperatures right now, I mean, it's still in the low 50s for some of us in Cleveland, Clarksdale, Tunica, even down around Greenville, whereas a little bit further towards the east, we're 41 Tupelo, 48 Starkville, and 46 Vernon, Alabama. That first 12, of course, tracking those temperatures, gradually cooling off into those overnight hours, but very limited amounts. We're talking a 3 or 4 degree difference from where we're sitting right now, and a big reason for that is the moisture that's in the air, but also the southerly winds in the forecast. Now, those southerly winds will result in a little bit more of a wind chill for our Wednesday morning, but with temperatures being in the low 40s, I think we can drop it a degree or two and still be pretty comfortable. We're 48 degrees in Amory, a very calm night right now in Monroe County, and we're going to enjoy those dry conditions into the overnight hours as well. Cleveland, I want to get this camera going here in a second because the breezy conditions, yeah, look at how much that is shaking. 15-mile-an-hour winds coming out of the south right now, allowing that moisture to build back into North Mississippi. And again, keeping those milder conditions around with 50 degrees as that temperature, and 50 degrees feels like values as well. We're getting to a point where wind chill can almost not be measured because it's not sub 50 degrees. I mean, 51 degrees Caledonia, we can't exactly see that wind chill because it's not exactly a chill anymore. 51 degrees, that's pretty mild. And we're looking at dew points too, still at 22 degrees. So it's keeping those dry, calm conditions over the top of North Mississippi, but that moisture gradually building back into the forecast. Reason why: high pressure now pushing off there towards the east, and we're getting that moisture. If I can draw real quick, we're going to pick blue because blue and water, yeah, makes sense, right? That is, of course, building into North Mississippi and allowing for some of this Gulf moisture down here, making its way all the way up north into North Mississippi. Now, what this sets the scene for is if we lift up a little bit more towards the north, this is our lifting mechanism. So paying attention to this frontal boundary all the way up here towards the Great Lakes and extending towards Missouri, Illinois, and Kansas. As this continues to work in that southeast direction, you're basically getting this frontal boundary, the lifting mechanism, to go into an area that is, I'm not going to say primed for strong storms or anything of that matter, but I do think it's primed for at least those rain chances as we get more into our Wednesday night, once that front moves all the way in, and into our Thursday as well, because this front Get ready to see it a lot. It's going to be lingering for an extended period of time, a very slow-moving process, but, I mean, who wouldn't want to stay in Mississippi a little while longer, right? As we continue into our Wednesday morning, you can see how that front still well towards our north, keeping those rain chances north as well. But as we work our way into our Wednesday afternoon, that's where those rain chances and this front will begin to move into North Mississippi. So those afternoon hours, keep that rain gear around, especially if you live right along Highway 72 up towards the Tennessee state line. That's where I would say the first chances start to move into our area. That will continue into the late evening hours or late afternoon and early evening hours as well, continuing overnight, but limited capacity for those first rounds of showers, becoming more scattered and widespread as we get more into our Thursday. So while chances are there on Wednesday, that's not our rainy day. Our rainy day is going to be more towards Thursday and more impactful day as well, as some of those rainfall totals surpassing an inch and some sub-severe gust expected as well. So coming up in 60, we're going to be tracking the latest on those rain chances towards Thursday using both our HRRR model and our strike model, comparing those two and also looking at that amount of instability that's in the air when that front moves through. So tracking that impact, the timings, everything you need to know as we get into that midweek forecast here from the Room to Room Weather Center in the next 60 seconds.
The 9th Annual World of Customs Indoor Car Show, Friday through Sunday, February 27th through March 1st in Tupelo Furniture Market, Building 5. Custom cars, trucks, and bikes, free Hot Wheels racing, and a free Hot Wheels each day for the first 50 kids. Special guest Eric Estrada from the TV show Chips, Pinstriper Von Hot Rod, Michael Brandt of Garage Bound Mobile Welding, and Bumblebee. The World of Customs Car Show, February 27th through March 1st in Tupelo Furniture Market, Building 5. Partially funded by Visit Mississippi and Tupelo Visitors Bureau. Some proceeds go to Le Bonheur Children's Hospital and Wounded Veterans Charities.
As a bankruptcy firm, Mitchell, Cunningham, and Bowling realizes many people are worried about their finances. We're here to guide you through the next steps to restart your life with easy video appointments. New clients don't have to leave home to get information about becoming debt-free. Also, convenient in-office appointments are available at the low cost of $340 upfront for a Chapter 13. You can be on your way to being debt-free. Contact Mitchell, Cunningham, and Bowling today or visit our website at mcdebtfree.com. We are here to help you. Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynor.
48 degrees right now in 8 to 10 as a milder night moves into North Mississippi. And again, like we saw earlier, a 20-degree difference from this time yesterday, showing that warmer conditions prevail. And warmer conditions stick around into this week as well. We'll look at that temperature forecast in just a moment, but a little bit of that good news, at least good news for me personally, because I've been rooting for the warm weather here recently, and I know a lot of you have been as well. 15-mile-an-hour breezy conditions out of the south right now. That's allowing for these milder conditions to move in place, but also a little bit of that moisture. That's what we're seeing out in Greenville and in Fulton. Fulton, I guess, a little bit more tame, 9-mile-an-hour winds out of the south, but keeping that moisture in the forecast. Right now, still a dry forecast at 25 degrees, but as we head through the day, we do expect that moisture to build, those dew points to climb, and those rain chances to move in later on in our Wednesday. Taking a look right now, Mama Justice Doppler radar staying on the drier side of things as that dominant high pressure system gradually works its way out. But temperatures are the big story tonight. I just can't get over the fact of how much we're changing overnight tonight and into our Wednesday morning. Still low to mid 40s with a few actual low 50s out there in the Delta, low 60s towards Dallas and San Antonio, and Lubbock still at 66 degrees at 10 o'clock. A dream, right? Again, my dream, I guess. If you're on the warmer side of things, if you're wanting those warmer conditions to prevail, then you're on the same team as me. But if you're wanting that colder air to stick around, well, you get a little bit more of it as cool conditions do stick around for northwest Alabama and far northeast Mississippi. That cold air being shoved up there towards the northeast as that nor'easter carries it away and high pressure moves out of the area. But we are watching this change. And again, this change just absurd in regards to the difference 24 hours can make. This time yesterday, tracking a very cold forecast. I almost didn't want to step outside, but now I'm enjoying some time outside, enjoying those milder conditions with that 20 to 26 degree difference there in Springfield. So enjoy it. It only gets better from here. And that's all the way across the Magnolia State, still with a 20 degree change from this time yesterday. So you'll hear me mention it a couple of times, but it's going to be warmer from here. It's all up from here, right? Day planner, by midnight, 44 degrees, not cooling off much more from where we're sitting at around that time. We're only 42 at 6 a.m. Cloud cover sticking around, as well as those breezy conditions out of the south. By 6 a.m., we're 9 miles an hour out of the south. So being that temperatures are in the low 40s, could see a bit of a chill as well, despite that being from those winds being from the south. Throughout our nighttime hours and into our Wednesday morning, still seeing some partly cloudy skies becoming more dense as the night goes on and carries over into our Wednesday morning. So not going to be the picturesque sunrise that we love here in North Mississippi. I do think that we could get a few glimpses out there towards Clarksdale and Shelby, but I think that's going to be for very few of us as that cloud cover does remain in place. Low temperatures, though, where it's a little bit more mild, is out west along the Mississippi River, 48 Cleveland, 47 Clarksdale, and 46 Tunica. But again, I mentioned it's going to be a cooler forecast out northwest Alabama. We're 39 in Hamilton, we're 41 Amory, 41 in Booneville, and that will continue to warm up as the week goes on as well. When you factor in that wind chill, that 41 in Amory becoming 39, that 48 towards Cleveland becoming 45. So there's that little difference that we're going to see because of those gusty conditions out of the south, and that's going to make it a little bit cooler. So I do think that we still need at least a light jacket getting into our school bus pickup forecast, but by drop-off, mid-60s, might be able to shed that outer layer and enjoy a much better afternoon that you could possibly go to the park for, go to the front yard or backyard, just go outside at that point because it's going to be a great forecast and enjoy those last couple of hours of dry conditions before those showers begin to work into North Mississippi. So 7 a.m. on our Wednesday, we are staying dry, still with that cloud cover, but that frontal boundary up towards the north, that's what we're watching as our main driver in the forecast. If I zoom things out, you can see it's becoming that stationary front that we talked about this time last night. That stationary front has very little movement attached to it. Watch, noontime on your Wednesday, it's just north of Memphis. By the time we get towards 3 o'clock, still slightly north of Memphis. That's a 3-hour time frame that it has moved probably 10 miles and will continue to build further towards the south and east, slowly but surely, I'll say, and that's where it'll start to linger, allowing for that moisture to be overhead by 6 o'clock and those rain chances starting to move in as well. Now, a large part of this is going to be light, but a few moderate showers, isolated moderate showers expected within those light showers. And this will be as that moisture starts to build in North Mississippi, setting the scene for what should be a more active Thursday. But we could see those chances linger or start as soon as our late afternoon Wednesday. Now, high temperatures, I will say, will be impacted depending on when these showers do pop up. Right now, we're low to mid-60s north of Highway 6, but that area in particular is what I'm watching for. Maybe some cooler conditions setting in early as those showers work in. We get some of that rain-cooled air. By the time we get further towards the south, the daytime heating will have already taken place. We're 70 degrees Eupora, 69 Golden Triangle, 69 towards Aliceville as well, and 72 around Belzona. But here's the progression of that stationary front. Overnight continues to remain right over the top of North Mississippi. Again, a prolonged period of time that it's remaining in one specific area, north of Highway 6 by 6 o'clock, and even by the time we get towards 3 o'clock. We're still north of Highway 6, so very little movement attached to this as it moves northwest to southeast, keeping those rain chances around as well, becoming more widespread as we get more into our Thursday, and some of that daytime heating does take place because it is still going to be a temperature drop into those overnight hours, but still some of those light showers trying to remain in the forecast. Our low temperatures Thursday morning, much more mild than even what tomorrow morning will be, so we get to enjoy that warming progression, not just into tomorrow, but carrying over to our Thursday as well. We're 57 Columbus, 56 Amory, 52 Red Bay, 57 Clarksdale, and 60 showing up Greenwood and Belzona. The day continues on, and that stationary front continues on as well, keeping those rain chances around. Now, one thing I do want to note is as we get further into the day, those temperatures do start to climb, and that unstable air that needs that warmth to take place, that will continue to climb as well. So that's why we're getting some of these oranges and reds showing up, showing some higher amounts of rainfall or higher magnitude of rainfall. So what that means is we could be getting some of those elevated storm tops that's getting potentially some vertical development. Now, not necessarily for tornadic development, but what we could be getting is some of those stronger wind gusts attached to some of these individual cells, and maybe even some small hail developing as well. Now, as that continues to remain over the top of North Mississippi, you can still see some of those reds showing up down there around the Golden Triangle and progressing out there towards the east. Now, what we have is this stationary front right here, but we also have almost another front developing on the back side of this that's going to allow us another lifting mechanism for some of these showers and storms by our mid-afternoon. So again, getting those reds and yellows showing up all the way from Water Valley to Shelby towards Tupelo, even just north of Fulton. As that line continues to move on through, you see how those reds get a little bit deeper. And look at that one specific cell right there. I'm not going to focus on this because that positioning is expected to change. But let's go ahead and look at that, because what we're getting, if we compare this cell in Fayette, Alabama to our scale, that's going to be on the higher side of the scale, meaning a higher output of rainfall, some of those brief heavy downpours that are expected with this setup, and that could potentially, if this were to linger for a longer period of time, maybe result in some flash flooding as well for a brief moment in time, depending on how long that sticks around in some specific areas. But that's what we get with these slow moving stationary fronts. It's a lot of moisture over a specific area that could get some higher rainfall outputs. Now, what I'm also watching for is usually with some larger raindrops. Whenever those form, we do have some higher cloud tops, allowing for those larger drops to form. Now, if we do get some of those higher cloud tops, that could also mean that we get some small hail out of this as well. So paying attention to that threat. I don't know if we go above that severe threshold of 1 inch, but I do think that some small hail, pea to dime size, is possible with this setup. And again, we will need your help here in North Mississippi to get those reports to the National Weather Service if you are getting any of that in your area. As these thunderstorms do collapse, we could get some of these stronger wind gusts to be produced as well. So paying attention to multiple possibilities, but in regards to getting over that severe threshold, I don't know if I'm necessarily sold on that. And we'll see that here in just a moment with our CAPE, with our energy here here at Mississippi Live Weather. Our warm temperatures will be in the forecast as we reach into the low 70s for a large portion of North Mississippi. So that warm, unstable air will be there, but it's a matter of how much moisture is in the forecast. So what I've put on your screen real quick is going to be our futurecast that we just saw a moment ago, this time with our strike model. But what we're also going to look at is that energy that these storms need to get some of that vertical development and potentially produce a strong thunderstorm. So as you can see, late into your Wednesday, not exactly tracking any of that energy in the area. And so those light showers are expected to be exactly that. Light showers. But as we get more into our Thursday, you can see how we do get some of that energy building up there towards Arkansas and even parts of Memphis as that main line works its way on through. But I want you to pay attention to where this energy sets up, because if you look, there's your front. We usually expect that energy to be out ahead of the front. At this point, we're seeing it back behind it, and still with some of those southerly winds, that's where I expect another boundary to be produced right there behind our main stationary front. Now, what this will be doing is, of course, interacting with this leading edge of showers and storms, potentially producing a few rumbles of thunder. But on the backside of this, expecting this to build in some strength as well. Do we reach all the way into strong thunderstorm territory? That's still a question that I'll iron out over the next at least 12 hours with our meteorologist Maggie McCauley, but we're paying attention to this batch out there towards Memphis by noontime, and we're also paying attention to that leading edge around noontime as well, closer to the Golden Triangle. Look at the amount of energy, though. That's something that has shifted since the 6 o'clock broadcast. A little bit higher output whenever we're talking about that CAPE or that available energy here in North Mississippi, meaning that some of these storms could latch onto that energy and become a bit on the stronger side. I mean, take a look. By the time we get into our 3 o'clock hour, that's a good amount of instability for these storms to take advantage of and build right here. I mean, we zoomed in onto a storm earlier. Let's go ahead and do that with our strike model here real quick. And as you can see, some of these storm tops, or at least the rainfall outputs, going to be on the higher side, and that could potentially result in some elevated storm tops and some small hail development as well. Now, our strike model having those cells be produced around Bruce, but not going to be shocked at all if that were to be pushed a little bit east or west. So fine-tuning the positioning on this is, of course, what will be getting done here in the next 24 hours with meteorologist Maggie McCauley in the mornings, and of course, Chief Meteorologist Matt Lawpon and I here on Mississippi Live Weather in the evenings. As that line carries off there towards the south and east, that's where the energy will go to. So as we get this last round of showers on the back end of this system, not expecting those to be anything close to strong, just kind of that leftover moisture here in North Mississippi, clearing on out overnight and leaving us with a much drier forecast into our Friday. Our forecasted rainfall, like I mentioned, some higher outputs, and this is lining up pretty well with our HRRR model, 1 inch plus in some spots towards Lamar and Marion, Alabama, even over there towards Monroe County, Mississippi. So paying attention to that area where those individual cells are working their way along that stationary front where some higher outputs are possible of that rainfall. So there's your chance on your Thursday. And again, Wednesday, limited potential because it's happening later on in the day. and those are just expected to be showers. Thunderstorms, that's where we're expected to get those on our Thursday, and potentially some impactful storms. I don't know if we reach all the way into the severe weather potential, but still those thunderstorms could be impactful in their own right. So I want you guys to stay prepared, and of course have that Mississippi Live Weather app downloaded to stay prepared ahead of that threat. Friday into the weekend, a much drier forecast and beautiful sunshine expected. And of course, we will see warmer temperatures as well. So a little bit of something to look forward to getting into the weekend. I always want to show the light at the end of the tunnel because the tunnel is definitely going to be a rainy one getting into our Wednesday night and Thursday morning. But if you guys have those layers of protection and you guys took our advice during Severe Weather Preparedness Week and going ahead and getting those plans in place and those kits ready, then I think we'll be good to survive severe weather season as we get into this late winter, early spring time frame, the changeover of the seasons. If you haven't done so, go ahead and do so. Let's go ahead and get prepared ahead of time. I don't really expect Thursday to be a severe weather day, but it could have a few thunderstorms that could be impactful. So Mississippi Live Weather app, that's one of the layers of protection you can have right there in your pocket. I mean, I have mine right here just in case anything happens, of course not tonight, but always have that on standby, and will let me know if there's any alerts near my home or near where I'm at or near any specific location. And you can do the same as well with the Mississippi Live Weather app, free and available to download today on iOS and Android, so make sure to do that. And of course on our Roku devices as well, search Mississippi Live and it'll pull it up for you to enjoy and be aware of as we work into our spring season. Our next broadcast happening at 6:30, and 7:30. I tease meteorologist Maggie McCauley. Well, she will be live with you guys, enjoying better temperatures. That's a positive. But of course, she will be tracking the latest on this rainfall potential and what to expect getting more into our Thursday. Can't wait to see you guys bright and early. But until I see you guys back at 5, 6, and 10, I hope you do have a wonderful Wednesday.
Look at Wanda, ready to rock her big presentation. But first, lunch. Sweet Pepper's Deli. Delicious, celebratory, but is it quick? The Cobb salad. Tender oven roasted chicken, topped with cheese. Prepared, plated, and served? In 6 minutes? Is this for real? Well, of course. Well done, Wanda. Sweet Pepper's Deli. Yes, ma'am. Life is sweet.